got everybody back. All right, at this point, we're going to go ahead and move on with the citizens' comments. If you have citizens' comments for tonight, we just ask that you move forward, state your name and address.
Mayor, council members, I'm addressing the fact that your city webpage, Dr. Jerry Brown, 1390 Highway Ave.
Thank you.
I'm addressing your city webpage. It's very difficult to find anything on. The reason I put one out this evening before I make it short. On the events, it shows nothing for tonight. This is a council meeting. That should be an event, in my thinking. When somebody's getting on your webpage and ask for events, they should think that this is tonight. The only thing I found was February that 2026 City Council meeting will be held Thursday, February the 15th. Does anybody watch these things? This is on your webpage.
Yeah, I agree. We actually had a talk on reorganizing it because it's not user-friendly. I had the same example that you just used, so we agree with you.
Well, I just wanted to point it out because it's not the first time. I kind of look at about a bunch of twice a month, and I see a lot of things like this. It's very confusing for somebody that doesn't know we meet every third Thursday. And they go to the council, they go to the webpage, and they might get the right time, you might get the wrong time.
Yeah, and just to add to what you said, a lot of the other things that we were looking at too, because it's hard to identify how to start a business in the city. We looked at updating that as well, and also using a tab that says business services. So services, the citizens would just go to that tab, and everything that they normally would be looking for would be under that tab. Right. So we're in the process of reorganizing the web page. During the transition with Apogee, it wasn't as streamlined as we desired, and it takes a minute to get that in line, especially learning that system. So we appreciate the comment.
I just want to point out because it's not the first time. Thank you.
Hey, in the meantime, you may try the Waynesville app, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems to be very, very accurate. I'll say that.
Any other citizens' comments?
My name is Van Williams. I live at 21715 Ranch Road. You'll find it in West Waynesville. I am talking about the same thing I've been talking about ever since I've been coming here. Why do we let dead animals lay on the road? It seems to me that when we let dead animals lay on the road, and if I run over it, I have a good chance of whatever that animal has to catch what we have. Do we need to raise taxes so we can get our street clean? If so, I'm for one, will vote yes, raise taxes. I would like to see the city street clear of dead animals. I said something about this before. Also, why would you let, when trees fall, why would you don't police them up, cut them up, and give them away? There's a tree then I guess Mother Nature broke it and across from Brentwood Terrace. That's next to Old Farm State. That tree, it irritated me because it's a dead tree. Why have we done something with that? Okay? Here's something that really, I think is wrong. We was told when we annexed to Waynesville, they would give us police protection. Very seldom do I see a policeman come through my area. We were told that we would be receiving street lights last year. Where's the street light? They started putting some in there, and they stopped. Why didn't why didn't Ranch Road get streeted last year like we were told we would? Beg pardon?
Ask Mr. Doyle to
You got
ask.
the update on the streetlights.
So I can come here. Okay.
Yeah, real quickly, to comment on your street lights, we discussed this through Roads and Grounds. We also discussed it at the year-end review with some unfinished business slides for that. So we kind of covered this ground. I'm not sure you were here with the street lights and finishing on Ranch Road. We have a plan to do that mid to late spring. We have to tear the road up to do it, so we decided against doing it last year. So you didn't have a road torn up all winter long to drive on. With Laclede Electric and the way they have their poles set and how we have to route the electric to these street lights requires us to go down the roadway. So we will be digging up the roadway late spring for an immediate paving, so it's not tore up.
Okay. When did you have that meeting?
January was the year-end review, and it would have been the January Roads and Grounds as well.
I think that's it.
All right, thanks, Ms. Williams.
Thank you. Oh, no, I got one more question. What are we going to do about a dog that had 17 hours to bark, keep me up, keep me from going to sleep, and I, as a taxpayer, only got 7 hours that he has to be quiet? Isn't there something wrong with that?
You did contact the police, and did the police come out to check on that? Yes or no?
Yes, I did.
Did they come out and address it?
I talked to the chief of police when he came out there. Okay?
What was his conclusion?
You really want me to tell you what he told me to do? That's a yes or no question.
No. If you ask me that, probably not.
I'll tell you what he told me to do.
Okay.
Now you tell me.
All right.
I'm not sure, but I think the down tree that he's speaking of is on personal property. Is that correct?
You said it's across from Brentwood Terrace?
Huh?
The tree?
The tree,
Yes.
the tree. If you drive to Brentwood Terrace and look to your right, there's a tree, look like an L. That tree's dead.
Is it on a private property or is it in an open field?
My wife asked the same question that you just asked, and I couldn't answer that because I don't know.
Okay, I'll check that out. We can look over.
Thank you.
We can look and see who's responsible for it.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other citizens' comments? Okay, if not, we'll move on to agenda item number 5. We had a special presentation tonight from Sustainable Ozark Partnership, Dorsey Newcomb.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to come forward tonight and give just a little bit of an update. I think the report that I provided to you was given to you ahead of time, so, I think that it might help from anybody being certified. I get there and talk too long tonight because I've been accused of that. I thank Mike Dunbar for being here with me. He's the president of our board of directors, and so appreciate his leadership. First thing I want to do is say thank you to the city for your continued support of Sustainable Ozarks Partnership. I think that we're able to stay in business and continue to do the work that we're doing on behalf of the 4 counties because of the commitment that this city and others have made to our organization. And I think it's important as we look to the future to do everything in our power to ensure that the Sustainable Ozarks Partnership is an enduring organization. There are a lot of challenges that are still on the horizon. There are a lot of opportunities. And I think being empowered to work those on behalf of our 4 county communities will continue to be very important for the future of Fort Leonard Wood and for the future of our respective communities as well. There are a lot of things that I captured in this report to you, but there are also a lot of things that we work on hand in hand with the city leadership on a daily basis that aren't necessarily reflected here. But I can assure you that the city is very much engaged in what SOP does, and we are engaged with you all practically on a daily basis. John's favorite time to engage me is in the morning, apparently when he's on his way to work or whenever he's on his way home. He calls me, and we do a lot of business before or after hours, but we appreciate the opportunity to have your trust and confidence. As we try to quantify the return on investment that we believe that we are collectively bringing to this effort to sustain and grow Fort Leonard Wood, I think it's safe to say over the past 10 years, we have together brought at least $850 to $900 million to Fort Leonard Wood in terms of investment, whether it be in the hospital, the airport, the barracks, the ranges, the housing. And I think that's very important for us to remember. So again, I've listed some things that are highlights of accomplishments since perhaps the last time that I had an opportunity to come before you, and thank you for your support. One thing that makes the top of our list is there's a recent VIP visits, 4-star general and 3-star general that are part of Fort Leonard Wood's chain of command that were here recently. The leaders are relatively new in those positions, so it's likely that it's the first time they've come to Fort Leonard Wood, particularly in those capacities, and I think from all accounts it was a real successful visit. We continue to find that anytime someone visits Fort Leonard Wood that hasn't been here before, they really are in awe of what's there, what's unique about the installation in terms of its mission and its capacity and potential. We finally have arrived at the point where our new hospital is going to open to see the first patients on April the 7th, and there's also going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony on the 31st of March. I hope that the city has already received kind of the save the date notifications and RSVPs to follow. That'll be a big day for our community. But in hand with that, the opening of that new hospital, we've got to continue to remind ourselves that we have to protect that hospital and make sure that it does not end up being downgraded to a clinic, as we know that has been attempted in the past. Our congressional leaders are fully engaged in this endeavor, and it's a persistent threat that I think we will have to continue to combat, over time. So, good news about the hospital, but a cautionary tale is we got to continue to pay attention to how it's manned and staffed and operated. One thing about the hospital right now is they have a unique approach to some initiatives. For example, they've got now where if you're a VA patient, I think folks know that if you're a VA patient, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a beneficiary of our hospital, right? So VA patients can be referred to our hospital to be admitted to our hospital now. And so that's going to be helpful as they continue to do that, to generate the metrics necessary to attract VA doctors to work out of our hospital, which would kind of help us keep the census up and the different metrics that substantiate the hospital continuing to be a full medical facility. So that initiative is credited to the current hospital commander and current leadership in Fort Leonard. So I think that's a creative way to do that, and we look forward to hearing more about that. I talked to you about the ceremony that took place back in the fall, December, on a cold day where we had groundbreaking for some of the new housing. There's going to be about 113 homes that are either, there's going to be about 69 new homes on Fort Leonard Wood, replacing one for one, and then there's about 113 or so homes that will be fully renovated. And just a reminder, that's one for one or renovation, that's not additional housing being built on the installation. I know the city's got a lot going on with housing development and stuff like that. And it's important that we continue to improve housing both on and off our installation, so I think we're doing that. And the conversations continue about how we can do even more for improving the privatized housing on Fort Leonard Wood. There's a barracks project that, that we've been advocating for a long time that's just now gone through the bid process. They've received a number of bids, and we think in the next month or so that contract will be awarded. So perhaps this summer we'll see a new 5-story AIT barracks project building being built along Fort Leonard. So it's another good news story. The Army has consolidated its recruiting command with its initial entry training command. So we've got an opportunity, as you all may know, on the 29th of April, the Waynesville School District will host the Salute the Service ceremony again. And they've invited the commanding general of that organization, General Davis. So aside from just being able to show recruiting command that we're supportive of folks that are joining the military, we'll also have the opportunity, hopefully, for General Davis to visit Fort Leonard Wood and see all the training that's going on out there that he's now obviously responsible for. Another thing I'll highlight is the work that's being done on intergovernmental support agreements. I know that the councils are read in on many of those. That is something that we've made tremendous progress on in recent years, and pretty proud of that, with more to follow. The more intergovernmental support agreements I think that will be accomplished here in the near term will really have an impact on the installation to be mutually beneficial for the respective municipalities. You'll also will likely have read in our update where our members of Congress and our governor weighed in with the Trump administration and the Homeland Defense Secretary and the Secretary of War, talking about Fort Leonard Wood's potential to accommodate federal law enforcement training. That's still an ongoing conversation. We'll see how that develops. But it's another instance where we believe that folks are calling attention to the capacity and the potential that exists at Fort Leonard. And we know that it's beyond just the Department of Defense. There's other federal agencies that could be doing business at Fort Leonard Wood, and we want every opportunity we can take advantage of making those kinds of representations. There's a few other things, along those same lines. The Coast Guard's looking for a place to do some more training, so we're doing some work on trying to get them interested in, if, for example, if Fort Leonard Wood's good for thousands of Marines to train, certainly some Coast Guard folks would be able to train Fort Leonard Wood too, from a community's perspective, also not speaking on behalf of Fort Leonard Wood. So just a few highlights from some of the work that we do. Again, you can read on some of that, and then I talked to you a little bit in this report about things that we'll be doing going forward, some focus areas, and just be reminded that all of this is guided by a 3-year strategic plan. We have, some formal strategies that we continue to pursue. Of course, we're certainly in the business of tackling things that aren't part of our strategy that just happen to surface from time to time, whether they be opportunities or challenges. But we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to try to protect what's at Fort Leonard Wood. One thing that I've been telling council since I've gone to Lebanon and Rolla and St. Robert and others is, there's a lot of talk in the media about really a $1 trillion defense budget, and then maybe even $1.5 trillion defense budget. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's a boon for Fort Leonard Wood. A lot of that money is going towards the Golden Dome defense systems, aircraft, ships, defense industrial base. The Army is really taking a back seat in some of this because it's not seen as relevant for the Indo-Pacific threat, right? So if the Army is trying to justify its role in defense, certainly that's going to affect Fort Leonard Wood. So we hear these big defense budget numbers, that doesn't necessarily translate to direct benefit to Fort Leonard Wood. And one of the things that I always say is that we should not ever take Fort Leonard Wood for granted. So then I talked to you a little bit about some of our strategic talking points. And so hopefully all of that is just a reminder of kind of how we approach the business that we do on everyone's behalf. And I guess I'll just, at this point, ask if there's any questions that I can entertain from anybody. Be happy to do it.
I've got a question or two.
Yes, sir.
I saw in the news today where the Secretary of War was in St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody reach out and invite him to come on up to Fort Leonard Wood and look us over, show him the new hospital and all the things you have planned?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we did. That visit was strictly for Boeing.
Yes.
It was part of the Arsenal of Freedom tour that he's gone on, visiting things related to the Defense Industrial Base. The thing that we were able to do was provide some talking points for our congressional delegation because Senator Schmidt was there, the governor was there, Congressman Alford was there. So we provided some talking points so when they had their private meeting with him, as part of all that, they were able to talk about things that we think are important to accentuate about Fort Leonard.
Do you get feedback from them on their talk with him?
I have already asked for it and waiting to hear back.
Well, it'd be nice to maybe be informed what you find out.
Yes, sir. Great question.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Newcomb? All right, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks, George.
All right, next I want to kind of share some information. I'm not going to read the proclamation, but I will explain something here tonight with regard to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Ozarks that share the Heart campaign. The Ronald McDonald House in Springfield provides temporary home and comfort and hope for families of ill and injured children. This campaign has served the needs of 520 Pulaski County families, 166 of which are from Waynesville. So that's pretty amazing that this is one of the reasons why we're going to support this proclamation for the Ronald McDonald House, because of the impact not only that it makes throughout our state and our region, but right here in our own hometown. On Thursday, January 29th, the second annual Share the Heart campaign took place with 70 McDonald's restaurants and other Ozark locations, encouraging guests to donate $1.06 or $20 to Ronald McDonald House's charities. And I want to encourage everyone to do as you will and as you please, but just know that this is a great organization that's doing a great work for our community and for the people who need it most when they need it most in Springfield. So with that being said, I do want to take a photo with this proclamation, and I want all of the council to come over and attempt to make a heart. We wanted to have hearts here, but I said everybody on the council has a heart. So we're just gonna bring our heart and try to make your heart look like a heart and not a potato. But we're gonna bring everybody here, and if we can take a photo, we want to send the proclamation to them with the photo so they can have it at their location. We'll move the chair over that way. Just take
Mayor, I was told, being a Republican, I don't have a heart.
Everybody got a heart. If you talking, you got a heart.
Okay,
We'll have
so-
everybody squeeze in here.
Yeah, we'll have to squeeze in.
I won't be able to make a heart. I'll just be a heart.
If I can do that or not.
See, man. Yeah, you got it upside down.
Okay, we ready?
We should have rehearsed this.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, if you can't make one, you should just do this.
Perfect.
Oh, my.
All right, at this point, we're gonna bring forward Ms. Johnson, Miss Waynesville USA 2026 for a presentation and share her story and this journey.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening, and thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to present today. My name is Laura Johnson, and I am honored to serve as the current Miss Waynesville USA 2026. I am here to share how I earned my title, what it represents, and how it can positively impact the city of Waynesville through leadership, service, and community engagement. Slide 2, please. Thank you. So, I am an Army veteran through Oklahoma National Guard, and service has always been a central part of who I am. I began competing in pageants as a freshman while attending Langston University, which is a HBCU, the only HBCU in Oklahoma. Because I was searching for confidence in my own voice, they allowed us to come out and participate in the freshman pageant, Miss Orange and Blue, which I placed top 5. I later went on to win Miss Crimson and Cream for the Alpha Pi chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, where I also served their year through there. In 2024, I earned the title of Miss Black Oklahoma USA, and then I went to nationals and placed top 10 at Miss Black USA, which was held in Washington, D.C. Pageantry for me is not just about competition, it's about growth, leadership, development, and learning how to serve with confidence. I was bullied growing up. I didn't feel like I had a voice. I felt very shy, so pageantry allowed me the environment to be able to speak for myself, gain leadership skills, and be more personable with my students, admin, teachers, and just kind of put myself out there. I was adopted through my grandmother as well, so I had a lot of just insecurities that I had to fight through, and being in that freshman pageant allowed me basically just to put myself out there, see who I was, gain an identity, and then continue to grow and allow others to do the same. Slide. So, how did I earn the title? The Miss Waynesville USA is part of the Miss Missouri USA pageant. So there are 2 main pageant systems, the Miss USA as well as Miss America. I am a part of the Miss USA system where I had to apply and turn in, community service hours, appearances, and things that I had done just in good nature over the last couple years. I originally applied in Oklahoma and I was accepted into the organization, but due to me moving because of PCS reasons, I asked for them to transfer it over to Missouri so that I could represent you guys as well. There is, I think, one prior Miss Waynesville. I was not able to get her information, but I want to make sure that I am present and I'm here to support you guys throughout the journey while I'm here. And then I was officially appointed to represent and compete at the Miss Missouri USA, which is May 9th and May 10th in Branson, Missouri. This role just positions me as a goodwill ambassador for the city on the state level. So what you can see there is my actual congratulations email that I received from the organization and just some things that I did in Oklahoma as I was Miss Black Oklahoma, which is my most recent title before this one. Live Free is an organization in Oklahoma that prevents gun violence. So they have a lot of events and things where they teach about how to properly store weapons, how to properly operate them, clean them, as well as kind of cleaning up the streets with the gun violence that was going on in Oklahoma. So I, as well as my other miss, she was the MISS, we both went out and kind of learned to do those things as well and helped others gain that knowledge. All right, next one. Thank you. So, my personal platform, we're going to talk about community engagement and positive impact and visibility. So what you can see there is me with some elementary school students. I went to Two Lakes Elementary and during their Black History Month and basically served as just a visitator to kind of see what they had going on in their elementary school and how I can participate in that. So it looks like me giving kids the voice and the opportunity to present themselves as, maybe a character or read books to them or just be in the classroom and be as another visual person so that they can have representation. The picture on the right was just me. I was on the news, so I also can do news appearances. Speaking about Christmas assistance, so one thing that I pride myself on doing is that every single year we have done the Christmas assistance program, whether I have a pageant title or not. And what that looks like is just gaining sponsorships or gaining donations throughout the entire city to give back to families. Those families are chosen by just signing up through the program and saying, hey, I have this many kids, this is our needs, here are some wants and things like that. So they are able to send that information to us and we are able to basically go shopping for those gifts for them. My personal platform is called Project Her Way, which focuses on empowering women and young girls to build confidence, leadership skills, and community impact. sessions, and collaborative community events. The goal is for individuals to find their voice early like I did and basically just use it purposefully. Next one. So what you see here are two pictures. So some of the ways that I fundraise and get funds is I like to host paint and sips for children as well as adults, and they sign up. I do personally draw out the pictures for the people to be able to participate, and we will provide snacks as well as like juice, water, drinks, and things like that for them to be able to participate. And then what you see on the left is I was invited to come speak at the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration meeting, which allowed me to share my story, just how I grew up and being a suicide prevention survivor, and just being able to speak on those different topics throughout there, which led me going to the Black Youth Suicide Academy in Maryland over the summer for a week, where we also were able to talk to different students. We intertwined with different leaders, students, there were pastors there, just different people of the community to be able to talk about those stories and prevent suicide prevention for the state of Oklahoma. There was about 11 of us that went. The Princess Program. So something that I really love to do is, of course, be a mentor with the Princess Program. It is not just a beauty pageant, but it is a leadership and confidence building experience. So what this is this allows girls to come in between the age of 5 and 13 to come in and experience my pageant week with me, my weekend with me. So they come out to Branson, Missouri, and they have access to a meet and greet. They will come in, get a crown, a trophy, a t-shirt. We have a tea party set up for them. There is a cost for it, but I also do private one-on-one sessions that are free to anyone that signs up just through me. And then if you sign up through the program, for the Princess Program, they are able to come and enjoy that weekend with me while I compete. So it is open to all of Waynesville, St. Robert, Fort Leonard Wood, of any age girls between 5 and 13. So this just goes back to talking to fundraising and responsibility. I fundraise through organized fundraisers, sponsorships, advertising opportunities in our official program book. So anyone that is interested in having their business in the program book can contact me, and we can put your business in the ad book. There is a cost. There's 2 different costs, depending on the size and things like that. But that part we can talk about later. Just want to explain how I do those things. So my goal is to represent Waynesville with excellence in maintaining responsible stewardship of responsibility. So Eastside Pizza House, that is a pizza place that was really popular on the east side of Oklahoma City, that we held a special event there where you can make your own special pizza. We had Miss Black Oklahoma pizza, we had Eastside pizza, and it just ranged of different ingredients. So my pizza was pepperoni and jalapenos and half pineapple slices. So it just allowed us to come in there and make the pizzas for a special cost, and then they were able to donate to me if they were interested in that. Okay, next. So building the bridge community partnerships, I'm eager to collaborate with schools, nonprofit organizations, civic groups, and local businesses. Whether that's through youth workshops, event hosting, mentorship, or volunteerism, I believe that partnership is how impact grows. So stronger communities are built through collaborations. Something that I have done in the past, of course, is the paint and sips. I have also done things on Tinker Air Force Base, which is where I worked at previously, and that basically just allowed me to gravitate towards those students that were going to school on post, and we would grab them and do arts and crafts, reading books, volunteering in the school, maybe substituting at one point. There's a lot of different things that coincide with that, just to be able to get close to them and let them know that the representation is there. If you have something that you are interested in, I am there to empower those students and let them know, like, hey, you can do this, you will do this, and at one point you are doing this, because I did it, I grew up very hard. I was homeless at one point. I wasn't sure if I was going to go to college at one point. I went into the military so I could have stability, and now that I have a voice, now that I have an opportunity to share my story with other people, that's exactly what I want to give back. My teachers saved me, my pageant coaches, they offered, you know, a way out to say like, you can do this. Your environment that you grew up with does not have to be the end, right? Like there's more that comes to us, there's more that we have to do. So as long as you're able to remain teachable and remain open, you know, with a heart and a mind, you can always invest in yourself, okay? All right, you're next. Thank you. So I will open up the floor now for just any questions, comments, or concerns about what it is or what's going on for anybody.
Are there any questions from?
No, I didn't even know we had a Miss Waynesville. This is
Yes.
exciting.
It is new. I was just appointed in January. Like I said, I applied for Oklahoma a year or so ago, and I asked them to transfer it. So over the last few months with getting all of the documents and things that support me being a resident here, I was able to do that through the application process, and it was officially given to me in January. And so I went to another pageant and happened to meet Mayor Wilson and his wife, and we kind of talked about some things, and he invited me to come just so that you guys can know I'm here to help. If you guys need, you know, people to put up things or take them down, decorate, or anything volunteer work, I am here to assist you guys while I represent the city, of course.
Yeah. And
Well,
just,
how can we help you with the upcoming one in Branson, you said?
Yes, ma'am. So right now, what support just looks like is really just if you know any young kids that are interested in pageantry, I would love to mentor them. I'm waiting on my background check to be able to get into the school. I have just finished my application for my background check for the art and then the Free Women's Clinic as well, just to kind of get my name out there and get support and then start doing things in a manner that I can for you guys. So I am asking for sponsorships and donations as well, but it's not something that I'm just immediately working on right now. So.
Nice.
so, okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say, very nice presentation, and I like what you're doing. You're heading in the right direction. Very,
Thank
very
you.
good job.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Okay. All right. And I was just, because the question I had was like, Miss Waynesville, how we get? So it was based on where she lives. That's how she applies.
Yes.
And then they have to approve it based off of that. So just for clarification for other people, we did not have a pageant that no one knew about.
No.
And then just appointed someone. This is an entirely different process. And the result of if you were to win this next level, what would happen? What would be the next step?
So the next step will be representing Missouri as a state, the entire state. So Miss Missouri USA would be my title then, and then I would bring it back home. What does that look like? So that looks like if you guys wanted to do a Miss Waynesville pageant, how can we get that started? How can we implement that? Because I'm sure there's plenty of young women that you guys know that would love to do that. It looks like getting into the schools and maybe even starting as young as the elementary levels to know like, hey, pageantry, education, service is out there for you guys to be able to and be empowered, be educated, and serve your community. So, I mean, there's a lot of open doors that we can do with the pageants, community service, representation on all levels.
Mayor, have you introduced her to the Corbett's? Mr. and Mrs. Corbett?
No, I haven't.
Because they ran pageants
For years.
for years around here, and that would be a good point of contact for you.
Okay, yes, I do know that the Pulaski, the Tri-County Pulaski pageant, that one is a part of the Miss America system. But I would definitely love to meet them and get their contact information.
They're not active.
Okay.
They're legacy.
Okay,
Legacy. So.
that would be great. I would love that information. Thank you for that.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the presentation and coming out tonight.
Thank you,
And
guys.
good luck and bring this Missouri back here.
Yes, that is the plan.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll move on to the next agenda item number 6. And normally we would have just strictly the council comments, but it'll be a combination of city administrator, Mr. Doyle will be briefing on the recent weather utilities issue we had with the winter storm Fern. I'll just turn it over to you then.
So some of you, depending upon the committee assignments that you have, some of you have probably seen this at one level or another. Other committees obviously have not probably been a part of this discussion, but I think to start out, in lieu of the administrator's report, as the mayor was saying, the mayor and city council have elected really to utilize this time and platform to educate and inform our customers of the expected impacts of the recent winter storm Fern. Our first slide, however, due to our continued support and dedication of our small businesses, we do want to recognize out of the Economic Development Committee, Parabellum, who is the business spotlight of the month for February. And beyond that, we won't have any other slides from committee level. But again, I think it's important that we recognize these businesses that make us successful as a city. Winter Storm Fern. This is going to be the tale of two utilities, okay? And we are talking strictly about electric and natural gas. And I want to be very factual in our information, and I want to be very blunt and obvious as to why you will potentially see elevated bills, elevated costs, and what they are a result of and a function of, okay? So it's very important that we recognize that these two utilities are affected by cold weather, okay? The effects of Winter Storm Fern and the impact of the storm may have on your utility bill. This presentation is intended to inform and prepare the citizens of the city of Waynesville for the pending February 2026 utility bills. Just for clarification, the pending February 2026 utility bills are for the utilities that were used by the customer during the month of January. We bill a month behind, as fairly common. Some communities bill 3 months behind, but our community bills 1 month behind. This presentation was created out of courtesy to our valued customers and concern of our elected city councilmen, councilwomen, and mayor. The date of the storm Fern, which was named, took place January 24th, 25th, and 26th of 2026. That is a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, okay? The late January 2026 winter storm greatly impacted the price of natural gas, resulting in extraordinary price increases charged by suppliers for both natural gas and electric to the city of Waynesville. So I wanted to take just a brief moment, and we will go through these slides fairly quickly. But it's very important that the customers understand what the city sees, not the city administrator or administration, all of us, as we go through the month and we're looking at and preparing for utility committee. What do we see? And so what caused the extraordinary price increase by suppliers? January 6th, if you're sitting in City Hall, we received this email. We receive this email every day from MPUA, and it is a natural gas spot price. And if you're looking at this, the scale, pay attention to the scale on the left. That is price or dollars per decatherm, which is how we purchase it. And at the bottom of the graph is the date. And you can see we come out of the end of 2025 and you're going through 2026. And again, this email was dated January 6th. So the last point on the graph is January 6th. And we're ringing in there anywhere between, roughly, looks like about $2 from Southern Star up to the highest price quoted that day from Henry Hub of, approximately $2.90. In that same email on January 6th, we have a futures price. This gives us a outlook looking down the road. This is what our our purchaser, MPUA, sees, this is what the markets are telling them, and if you look, this scale is greatly exaggerated, especially the x-axis, okay? You're looking at y-axis of 240 to 540 on the cost, and you see August of 25 all the way to February of 28. But you don't see really a lot of variation. This is a very magnified model just to see these points as it goes. So if you're sitting in City Hall, January the 6th, this is what you see. No concern. This is where we see it every January. We are going good, right? Things are going well. So let's jump to January 23rd. January 23rd, the city of Waynesville receives a gas peak alert. Okay, that's not good, right? What's that mean? That means to us that we are going to most likely see an event, weather event, that will influence the price of gas. Now that alert doesn't tell us how much it's going to influence it, the price, but it does let us know that there is something out there that could potentially influence the price of gas. So if you're in City Hall and you're looking at this email comes through, January 23rd, the email looks like this. The very key thing to note is this storm isn't here yet. This is well before the storm gets here. And look what the prices are doing. They're going up. And the scale, the dollars per decatherm, your y-axis, is no longer $3 to $5. It is 90 cents to $80. That's a peak alert. So we know at that point we have issues. So we're communicating as a team, as a group, administrations, communicating with the elected officials. Hey, we may have something here. We've been through this before in a previous winter storm named Uri. So the communication starts. Hey, Mayor, we may have to hijack your podcast. We may have to jump in. You know, there's things coming. And so he's tracking. And as we go through committee, they're tracking. But January 24th, another email. We're getting more information. Again, the storm isn't quite here, but we're getting information. This would be a Friday, okay? Now we are through the storm. The 27th is a Monday, and as you see this, keep in mind this scale on the y-axis, guys, we're topping out at $80 here. We were selling this thing on the 6th of January for like $2.90. Now we have, you know, $60, $70, $80 decatherm gas. Okay, so we've been through the storm. You're about to the end of the storm, right? The increase started on a Wednesday and it ran through Monday. This is the Monday. So let's go January 28th. You can see now that we're still kind of jumping around a little bit, but by the 28th, which is the last data point on this graph, we are trending downward. The 28th logs out at approximately $10.90 per decatherm. So if you're looking in the rear view mirror from the last data point, looking back, you're going to see the storm in its entirety, 122 to 128. And that was where the natural gas was trading at the highest. Moving forward, now we're going into the 29th. You can see 28, 29, still trending downward, maybe one outlier there with northern Ventura, but everything's trending down. You go to January 31st, and the storm is well in the rear view mirror now, and you can see we are back down to the scale of, you know, roughly 90 cents a decatherm, which means you're going up to the probably $3 to $5 mark on the trading. So just for fun, I added another slide today. If you were at City Hall, this email came through. Here you go, February 19th, real time. You were looking at trading between roughly $2.40 to, you know, maybe $3. And I looked at the futures, I didn't put that, no concerns. But I haven't seen the forecast yet. These things, your natural gas price since the decline of the coal industry in the electric production has really driven the electric price. So a lot of people may be sitting at home watching, or will watch this video later, will say, well, what does natural gas have to do with electric? A lot. because the production of electric is through natural gas, right? So I'm going to move forward now with some of the tale of two utilities. If you see red on the screen, red is electric. This is an electric conversation, okay? So my first slide, you can kind of tell it's a shade of red. If you see yellow on the screen, that's natural gas. And we have to really make a demarcation between the two utilities, because the important part is both will be elevated in cost. One will be elevated due to the increased use. The other will be elevated due to the increased use and increased price. And there is a very, very distinct difference there. So I want to kind of use this time to inform our users of that difference. Electric bills for Winter Storm Fern were evaluated by the City of Waynesville in an effort to prepare customers in advance of receiving these bills. The time period for the evaluation was through the Winter Storm Fern, January 2026. Okay, this is a February billing cycle. These bills will go out in just about a week. You will receive them in about a week and be paying them in March. And when you get to March, you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, February was warm. But this again is January usage. The evaluation of electric usage included two use types. We really focused on our residents, all right? So the first use type was a residential customer, single family use. The second use type was a residential customer, but we looked at the multifamily or apartment type use, okay? And then kind of a little disclaimer. It should be noted the City of Waynesville, our staff, we utilize electric use averaging. We looked at locations, actual people's meter reads, and we averaged that read. And then we seen what the elevated cost or elevated use was going to be from that average read, okay? So when you do that, these estimates may vary depending upon the age of the home, the square footage of the home, the energy efficiency of the residential structure. All of that matters when you're talking about the use of electricity. So Winter Storm Fern, residential customers, we actually evaluated the electric accounts within our service area to estimate the expected increase in the electric utility bill for two types. Apartment type structures, very important. This is going to see what our staff did. The apartment type structures that had an average use of say 1,284 kilowatt hours, roughly 1,300 kilowatt hours, increased their usage over this period by almost 540 kilowatt hours, okay? So if they were about a 1,300 kilowatt hour user, during that January time frame, they went to an 1,800 kilowatt hour user. We are only talking about units, not price, and we will get into that. What's that mean for their bill? So if you increase 540 kilowatt, they would see an increase in cost of $65.83, and the estimated bill for that evaluation period is $244.34. Single family residential type structures. Again, this isn't a multifamily use, this is single family. We have to throw out there, you know, square footage, energy efficiency, a lot of that matters here in this conversation. Residential customers with an average use, you will see the average use of a single family residential structure be higher than the rental apartment type, but roughly 2,200 kilowatt hours, we've seen an increase of approximately 1,200 kilowatt hours, resulting in a total of, if the average use was 2,200, they were about 3,400. Okay, so an increase of almost 1,200 kilowatt hours is an increase of almost $143. Go ahead.
The price is determined on a daily basis then, or an average?
So the price of electric is determined by ordinance and never changes in the City of Waynesville. We are one of few cities who do not change the cost of electric. When you hear somebody talk about our base rate did not change, you need to ask another question. In the City of Waynesville, our base rate is set by ordinance and cannot change. If they say your base rate did not change, that means that it can change. These people have PPAs, which we will get to here in a minute. Our rate is set by ordinance and does not change. And when your electric bill goes up, that means you use more kilowatt hours. That is all that means. We're not talking about the cost that it costs the city. We're not talking about what the city was charged by its suppliers, but we will get there real quick. So again, single family use, $143 increase. The increase in kilowatts used above estimated average use would result in an overall electric bill of $65.83 for an apartment type structure and an increase of $143 for a single family residential type structure. Very key to note, if you do the math, I think ours is 0.1219, is that correct?
0.1219.
Yeah, so our kilowatt hour by ordinance is 0.1219. If you multiply the kilowatt hours by 0.1219, you won't get those numbers. We do have a $22 availability fee. I put that in the slideshow. And if you add the $22 availability fee, that is your all-in cost. That number also does not change and is set by ordinance in the city of Waynesville. Okay? Trying to go through this. Key takeaways in electric. Why is my bill so high? Very important. The increase observed in the electric utility bill is solely a function of the units or kilowatt hours used by the customer. That is not the case in all communities. Other communities have what they call a PPA, which is in the next bullet. The city of Waynesville currently does not have a power purchase agreement or PPA within its ordinance for electric. What is a PPA? A PPA allows the city or municipality to pass along or bill the customer for extraordinary price increases charged by electric suppliers due to extreme weather events or other unforeseen factors. This happens a lot of communities, some neighboring communities. So when you see the rate of electric that is posted on a web page, that is a base rate and it goes up from there, not down. They modify that rate on a monthly basis depending on what they are charged.
But I was correct in saying price gouging under that scenario.
I feel that, yes. When you see price increasing 3 days before storm gets here, it's hard to take as a city because you know what's coming. And I will say for citizens of the city of Waynesville, they should feel blessed to have a set electric rate. That's very, very convenient. Bullet 3, electric rate of the city of Waynesville is 0.1219 per kilowatt hour, as established by ordinance, and does not fluctuate regardless of the rate the city is charged by the supplier. Keep that in mind. With proper planning and administration, the city absorbed the supplier's extraordinary price increases and inflated electric invoice. This action protected citizens from the extraordinary increases and ensured power to the citizens continued to be supplied at the given rate of 0.1219 by ordinance. I think if you want to talk numbers, the city absorbed roughly $200,000 to $225,000 of that cost. Other cities pass that to their customers through a PPA. We do not.
They get into the peak time thing.
Yes, time of use is very key, especially when you... So the way it trades is really kind of the graph that we was talking about before. That's natural gas, but natural gas affects electric. And the way that trades is kind of a time of use for electric. Electric generation time of use is very important. Now when it's cold and cold all day long, you may not see that fluctuation, but that price is inflated the whole day. So it's kind of just as detrimental if you see a really big spike of a morning or an afternoon or of an evening versus an elevated price all day. You still are overpaying for electric. I think that would be overpaying. I want to kind of clarify that. That's overpaying budgeted versus charged, right? we budget electric with the reasonable confidence that it's going to be between these numbers. And this winter storm, it was not. It was higher than these numbers that we budgeted for. So moving on to natural gas. Natural gas bills for Winter Storm Fern were evaluated City of Waynesville for customers in advance of receiving these bills. Time period's the same. We included one use type for this, residential customers. We excluded commercial customers because you will see these vary greatly, commercial customers. One thing I will tell you though, we did use the averaging across the given use type. These estimates again will vary greatly depending upon what your natural gas is used for. You can have natural gas as an emergency heat with the automatic or smart thermostats. When it got that cold, it probably kicked off the heat pump, turned on the emergency heat, which was natural gas, and it probably ran for days. That scenario, more efficient heating, which shuts your heat pump off, but also the price increase of the natural gas will pay into, you know, the emergency heating. Residential customer gas accounts within our area were evaluated. We probably had, 7 to 10 locations. We tried to pick locations that we knew. We tried to mix it up from the age of the home, the location of new home at the Summit versus older homes in downtown. We really wanted to vary just to get a good random sample of energy efficiency. Spray in or foam insulation, right? The new thing versus back versus blow in, all that matters, and it changes your bill. So the residential customer with an average use of 5,400 cubic feet had an increased use of approximately 5,000 cubic feet, resulting in a total use of 10,400 cubic feet. That's a pretty significant increase. Now, we cannot go into the detail on the natural gas cost. What's that going to cost the user? Right now, we don't know. I was working with MPUA last week, worked with them this week. I wanted that data for tonight, again, as we're using this as a platform for this information. We still do not have our natural gas bill from MPUA. They did kind of give us an indication that naturally we'll have it tomorrow. So, you see the TBDs in there, and kind of, the clause, as of 2/19/26, we've not received our natural gas invoice.
Hey, John, just because I think that even some of the people that may be listening tonight, they may not even know what MPUA is. They don't know that we are part of a power pool.
We are? Yep.
Right, and so just kind of explain that piece, because there's a difference. Like
Sure.
Not to get too in detail with, the pros and cons of us being in a power pool is actually a good thing, because if not, we would have had to pay the entire amount, which was what, $8 million or so, something like that.
So
for those few days.
MPUA's Missouri Public Utility Alliance, they purchase power and gas. They purchase this for numerous cities. We are a consortium. Several cities across Missouri, 170 plus, I believe, cities across Missouri are a member of this utility alliance. We are a part of a power pool for electric. Okay, we are a part of MOPEB, and we purchase that power through them and through their agreements. And then you have the Missouri Gas Commission, which we are a member of as well, and that is how we purchase our natural gas. These gas prices and electric prices are purchased and hedged. What's that mean? That means you actually pre-buy, if you will. If you're a propane user, I think that's something, you would pre-buy. We try to pre-buy as much as you can, but you can only hedge so much gas. There are a lot of affiliations with that. I think the MPUA voice is heard for lobbying purposes, because when you hear MPUA, that means something to your elected delegation versus maybe City of Waynesville individually. Oh, the City of Waynesville's upset. Well, okay. But if MPUA's upset, now you got the City of Waynesville times, 200. And that has an impact. So yes, we are a member of that, and that is how we purchase our natural gas and electric utilities.
And you were saying earlier how we, even being a part of that power pool with electric, we have, we're one of all the cities, one of 15 that do not pass the price or that bill on to the customer.
So yeah, we are a little unique in that. So both MOPEP, MPEP, both power pools have municipalities that currently have within their ordinances a PPA. And I have kind of taken a different stance through the city of Waynesville and MPUA. I feel like that a PPA is a disadvantage to the only one person, and that's the citizen. That's the people we serve. And some of that conversation, and just to go in a little bit of detail, when you're talking with MPUA is a partner, but you can still disagree with that partner, and I did. And I was telling them that I don't find it attractive for Waynesville to use a PPA, and MPUA tells me, well, yeah, but Waynesville, the city of Waynesville would, at least have financial security when these storms arise. And what he told me was, well, the city wouldn't have to cover the $200,000 overage in the bill. And I said, well, you're mistaken, because the city to me is not administration and elected. The city is the people we serve. And that's a failure on them. If I pass that cost to them, who's going to stand there and fight for them? If I'm not worried financially, I'm just going to step to the side and let the supplier who charged me actually just charge them. And that's where we kind of disagreed, and so we kind of go back and forth a little bit in the conversation. And the guy looked at me and said, I've never seen it that way. I never thought about it that way. And I said, well, the PPA is nothing more but taking these cities away from their people that they serve and allowing that power supplier to really directly charge them. Because if you're financially secured as administration, who cares? Well, I care. And so when we have that conversation, he's like, yeah, I get it now. And so I'm still, as an administrator, sitting here trying to talk to the utility committee about this, and I got pretty fired up maybe, I get frustrated because I feel like the PPA has taken the voice away from the people in the communities that have passed that, and our voice as non-PPA communities has gotten quieter. And that's not right. That's not fair. And if you're not out there fighting for your city, and I'm talking population and people we serve, then what are we doing? So moving forward with natural gas, this one is, I say that, and then we have a PPA in natural gas. Right here it comes, right? So the city does have a PPA in natural gas. Okay, that's like, oh, he's going back on what he said, but you got to think about it two ways. First of all, when we became a natural gas city, a natural gas supplier, we started our system. The system began being installed. People started hooking up to it. For us to get the system started, we had to have a PPA. So since the onset of the system, the PPA had to get passed through. An example that Amber gave me today, and it is exactly true. The price of gasoline at the pump changes almost daily or weekly now. And you see it varying driving down the road. That same price of gas is the same for natural gas. And you guys seen the volatility. Even when it was like a normal everyday average kind of week, you still have volatility. And you hedge that cost and you pass that cost on to them. So the price of natural gas varies from day to week to month. The price of gas at the gas station varies from day to week to month. So there is a PPA within the city's agreement with Spire and natural gas. And Spire is our supplier on that, okay? So we expect a fairly large increase in usage. So electric, just to keep it simple, electric bill increase is only an increase in the units used by the customer. The natural gas increase will be an increase in the units used plus a suspected increase in the cost of that gas. Now, why do I say suspected? Because we do not have the natural gas bill, so we can't tell you exactly what that increase is, and I wish we could. Again, red and yellow, electric and natural gas. And this is just some key takeaways. The increase observed in the electric utility bill is solely a function of the units used by the customer. Electric rate of the city of Waynesville is 0.1219 per kilowatt hour as established by ordinance and does not fluctuate regardless of the rate the city is charged by the supplier. Increase in the overall electric utility bill, again, is solely a function of the units used. Natural gas, we do expect an increase in the overall cost of natural gas provided by the supplier. The city of Waynesville has a PPA within its ordinance for the billing of natural gas. The city expects an increase in the overall cost of the natural gas as delivered to the city by the supplier. To date, we have not received the invoice from the supplier. The expected increase in the overall natural gas utility bill is a function of both the expected supplier price increase in combination with an observed increase use by the customer. The word observed there is there intentionally. We have read these meters. The city has put forth a great effort to collect all of this data, and as late as today I have Tracy York working on this data to tell me what are these increases, what are we seeing, and she pulled through and got it done. These are literally hot off the press. We had a field staff going out. We increased it by probably for sure twofold, almost threefold to get these readings so we could update our customers as soon as we possibly could. So we have green. What's green mean? This is our customer service plan for the city. And I sat down with the staff. Again, most of the staff here has already experienced this once in Winter Storm Uri. So what did we do back then? We want to kind of do that again. We want to work with our customers again, because that's the people, that is the city of Waynesville. So the city of Waynesville will offer to our customers a 6-month pay agreement for the additional increase observed on their personal utility bill that is above the average use of the customer. What's that mean? You'll have to pay at least your average use bill. Any remaining above that, we will pack interest-free for 6 months as a city to make payments on through a pay agreement. All right, so we're going to get, what is a pay agreement? Pay agreement provide the customer the opportunity to pay the observed increase over average use across 6-month period without interest. This one is all underlined. Why? Because this is an action that is required by our customers. We cannot physically do this for you. The customer will be responsible to apply for the pay agreement in person at Waynesville City Hall prior to the standard pay agreement deadline for the billing cycle. And so if you hear nothing else and you get your bill and you realize you are going to struggle with payment of that bill, come to City Hall. Seek us out. Seek somebody out. Go to our utility office. Ask for Tracy. Ask for Melanie. They will be ready to work with you, okay? Again, the last bullet is if you need additional information, come to City Hall. Contact us. And I left the last slide for you guys, council comments or discussion.
Yeah, before we open up for discussion, I want to say thank you for all the due diligence and for the citizens. A lot of times they don't, in this, I was that way too. If you're not in it, you just don't know. You just, you don't know how the process works. You think the city is the one that's supplying you the power because you've seen a substation, but it comes from somewhere else. And we have a bill to pay. And every time our staff here has always fought for the citizens. And it's the same with the council, fighting for the citizens when it comes to paying these bills. Because most of all, we got to pay the bill too. I mean, no one here wants to pay large bills. That's not my goal. But the thing that we have to really take heed is just as John was fighting for the city and the citizens and voicing his opinion with MPOA, the same thing, when I went up to Jeff City, I was doing the same thing, but another road. And that's how we fight for our citizens. It's not just by sitting back and just letting it happen and just passing the bill on, passing the buck. We step in the gap, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible because we know that our citizens have a difficult time. And I'm gonna tell you, I have never seen Tracy and the energy and the effort that they try to help the citizens out, the people of Waynesville out when they need help the most. I mean, giving them resources. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I have even witnessed other people come in and pay someone else's bill because they needed it. And this is the stories. These are the things that people don't understand. So the payment plan, all of this is about making things easy for our citizens, or more manageable, let me put it like that, not easy, but more manageable for our citizens. We have to pay it, but we put in the effort to do it. And I wanted to just say thank you for the staff, utilities, Tracy and Amber and John, especially taking the lead on this and putting this information out there. What do we need from the citizens? To share this information, to share what we're talking about, especially when it comes to the customer service plan. We'll have it posted on social media, and we need to share that. Maybe we'll put the logo of the cow up. That'll spread real fast. So we'll make sure everybody get that out there. So let's just, yeah, my cow. Hashtag my cows. Then we'll make sure everybody understands that we're taking the best interest of our citizens to make sure they can get through this difficult time. So we do have a timeline on that. That timeline is the regular billing cycle. So make sure you get in early. You don't need to wait on that. Because if you already know, you know. Just come in and get it started. With that being said, does anybody else have any comments?
I'd like to reiterate something like you just said, Mayor. Don't wait till the last day that your bill is due to come in to get the agreement put in place, because we don't have enough bodies working in City Hall to accommodate everybody all at once. So, like you said, come in early, you know you've got a bill coming due, and get it squared away.
I got one question. Can the agreement be posted so that they can actually print it out, fill it out, and bring it back here? Is there a way to do that, or do they have to just come in and fill it out here? Is that something that can be done, or where they bring it in with them?
In extenuating circumstances, if somebody wasn't able to come in, as far as somebody that maybe couldn't get out of the house, we'll work with them, you know, that kind of thing, but we would like them to come in.
Okay. Well, I mean, they will come in. I'm just trying to make the line go faster.
Well, we like them to come in. I mean, they can help fill out, but most of it's information that pertains particularly to their bill.
Okay.
Because we need to outline exactly what the bill is going to be, what your payments are going to be, so we need to go over all of that with that customer.
Gotcha. I understand. All right. So with that being said, get in as early as possible to...
Tracy, the next deadline, the deadline would be 15 March then?
It would be the 15th of March.
Is that subject to the postal delivery service in the building?
Oh, no. Yes.
I just don't want somebody to not come in that maybe can't, physically maybe not able to get out.
Okay.
You know, don't let that stop, you know, because we'll work with that person.
Okay. See, I told you they work with you. So thank you again. Any other comments? All right. Thanks, John. You got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. We do have a proposed ordinance this evening, HB 2026-06. Madam Clerk.
First reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute an agreement with Benton Engineering for engineering services regarding 3 crosswalk locations along historic Route 66, fixing an effective date. Second read, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and/or city administrator to execute an agreement with Benton Engineering for engineering services regarding 3 crosswalk locations along historic Route 66, fixing an effective date.
I entertain a motion. Motion, Mr. Rice. Second. Man. Anthony. Second by Anthony. Any discussion? Not even a yay?
Yay!
All right.
Very excited about this. Definitely need those crosswalks.
The crosswalks and the lights, yes. All right.
I'll cheer when I see them.
They coming. Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Corrin.
Yes.
Councilman Bland.
Yes.
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Councilman Hyatt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dills.
Yes.
Councilman Harold.
Yes.
Councilman Farnum.
Yes.
All right. So agenda item number 8, other business, intergovernmental police service agreement, Lake of the Ozarks Major Case Squad.
So this is a standard agreement, and in the past, I've seen this agreement come through before, and it's never required 2 councilmen and the mayor's signature. It's always been chief of police and the city administrators. So when this one came through this time, you know, I'm printing it off and I'm ready to sign, and I got it. Whoa. So I made a phone call, and I think there's some RSMO things going on here, if you will. And, you know, even though I think it's like $200, so it's below like even our PO limit. But because of that signature, I felt obligated to bring it to the council for approval, okay? And I would probably recommend that members of the police committee and the mayor sign this, okay? Just so it is, or the emergency services committee and the mayor sign this, as it is, that's who it's for and what it's about.
Okay. All right. So you said we need a vote for this.
Yes, I would like to have a vote just to know, just so they know it ran through council and those signatures of those councilmen and mayor were approved by this council.
I make the motion for now.
All right.
I'll second.
So the second motion for the intergovernmental police agreement. All right. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Farnum.
Yes.
Councilman Harold.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dills.
Yes.
Councilman Hyatt.
Yes.
Councilman Rice.
Yes.
Councilman Bland.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Corrin.
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to council and mayor comments. We'll start with Mr. Farr.
Mayor, did we miss the 2026 fund balance?
So it is in your packet, and nice catch, Mr. Farnum. There is a fund balance reserve compliance, city administrators report annual review 2026 within the packet. This is for information only. We generally only pass this through finance committee, but I think it's appropriate and nice to bring to the entire council, as if you're not on that committee, you may not know really what this is or what the requirement is. There's a requirement, I think, in the city of Waynesville to have between 10 and 15% of the operating budget within reserves. So if you read kind of through that, and I'm paraphrasing quickly here, but there's roughly 2.21 million to 3.31 million needed to be in reserve with that budget, okay? And total funds available for the fund balance reserve policy currently is roughly 5.26 million. So we are well within and possibly slightly above that requirement, which is not a bad thing when you have $1 million electric bill.
So I wanted to bring this up because I know some people talk online about
Our financial status.
financial conditions, and I'm glad this was in the packet.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is one of the first times I remember actually bringing it to the entire council, but I know every year we are required to take it to the finance committee bill, and it just passes. And this year I was talking with Amber and B, and and I'm like, let's take this to council, because there's 3 of you guys in finance on any given night. And the night that this hits your packet, probably 3 councilmen see this. And this year, with the finance team of B. White and myself and the former finance officer, said, let's take it to the council and they can all see it and ask good questions. And maybe the online guys could, find a copy of our agenda somewhere and pack it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, with that being said, we'll move on to council comments, and we'll start with Mr. Farnum.
I would like to say the sidewalk that is being built is coming along nicely. And one of the constituents in Ward 1 called me about the wall outside her property. She had a great idea that maybe we ought to get a mural painted on it when it's complete of the Trail of Tears people walking towards the sunset, since it would be going west right there. And I thought it was a great idea, and I told her I'd pass it along, so I've done my job.
I like the idea. That is a lot of wall. It's the largest wall in the alignment. And I think it could easily be accomplished.
I hope we can work on it.
I am also excited about the sidewalk, not only just for how beautiful it's coming along, but also the fact that we can walk on back into town. Because we have some new businesses down there that have just opened up. There's a great shop down there, the Riverside Shop, and then also too, there's an antique shop coming in. But just walk back on into town and have a little, just go have dinner, relax. With the weather coming in and being beautiful out, it'd be nice to stroll on down that new sidewalk.
Thank you. Ms. Deals?
Yes, I just want to say that everybody's effort that they made during the snowstorm was greatly appreciated, because I think there could have been a lot more damage or accidents happen. So thanks to the city for everything they did to make the snowstorm easy, especially with no power outages and so forth.
Mr. Hyde?
A lot of good information flowed through the meeting tonight. Just wanted to say, really enjoyed the Ms. Johnson's presentation. Thought you did a super job. Wish you best with your endeavors as you move forward with that. Enjoyed listening to Dorsey Newcomb talk. He supplied a lot of information, and I need to look at that again. But I thank him for coming to the meeting and providing that information to the city council. That's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hyde. Mr. Rice?
Yes, a lot going on tonight. Real good explanation on the utility bills. I'm just glad to live in Waynesville. Part owner of a business in a neighboring city. We're going to find out how that goes. Use a lot of gas and things going to be high. I also want to thank the positive energy from Ms. Johnson tonight. You're representing the city of Waynesville really well. Thank you.
In the lines of what John was talking about with the energy, there's something coming up at the state level that I want everybody to be aware of. Cindy O'Laughlin is a senator, and she's submitted a bill number 849. It pertains to solar energy and the farms that are being brought to light for saving energy. And she has proposed a bill that puts a kibosh to them, those that are in motion and those that are in proposal. So she's going to put a kibosh to all of those that are in motion, and we can, I mean, the ramifications of it, of how it could save our city or save any city money is outstanding, and then she's going to put an end to it. I want everybody to be aware of it. Research the bill 849 so you know what's going on.
Thank you.
Good evening. So I want to start by thanking everybody that voted to get us showcased in the small town showcase. We came in second. That was amazing. I was just hoping for fifth, right? So please, we're asking the community to get involved. Let us know what you want to see, what kind of events. I love the idea of that wall, having a mural on it. That would be great if we could move forward and make that happen, especially with the Route 66 celebration coming up, that we could showcase the Trail of Tears a little bit better. That's amazing. I think we have a lot of negativity in our lives today, right? Everybody seems to be a little bit divided, a little bit angry, a little on edge. And I want everybody to just take a moment and think that we all essentially want the same things, right? You want to have a good job, you want to be able to go home, take care of your family, enjoy your evening, put food on the table, keep your family safe. If we all want the same things, then why can we not see the humanity in other people? And we seem to have lost that. And so tonight, I ask that everybody look at your neighbor as it is yourself and start to see people. You do not have to love your neighbor, but you have to love your neighbor, right? And what I mean by that is you may not even like your neighbor, but they're still a human. And they still are trying to make it in this world, which really just seems to be shook up a little bit, right? So if we could just all have humanity and grace with each other, everybody's going through something, everybody's dealing with their own thing. But at the end of the day, we all just want to live peacefully. And it's not about Democrats or Republicans. This is about everything. Religions, you know, just the little spat that you may be having with somebody in your life. Is it worth that? Let it go. Just let it go. Thank you, City, all of you. You're absolutely wonderful. Thank you for another great month.
All right, thank you. Thank you for those words. I'm gonna just share a couple of things. First, just to tell the citizens, and we are a community, and just as John shared earlier, when we say city, we're not just talking about the people that work at City Hall. We're talking about the entire community of the people. We represent the city, every single person. The citizens make up the city. The citizens have all of the power in the city, because without the citizens, we wouldn't be where we are right now, in the positions we are. The citizens are the ones that pay taxes, that fund the efforts that we put forth every day to take care of the community. So it's a unified effort in our community. We are the city. Like Waynesville, it's people, it's not a building. So I just want to reiterate that. Also, with that being said, portions of our community is expanding faster than others, and I want to encourage people to continue to use the Ward Finder at wardfindercity.city. It's a website, so you can find out which ward you stay in, and also help the city to better realign our wards based off the city growth. We have 2 wards that are not landlocked, and that is pretty much Ward 3, place to be, and Ward 4.
The place to be.
Yeah. But we have those 2 areas, so they're growing, so we want to make sure everybody knows who's representing you here. You have the contact information. Also, it gives you a little bit more information about where you reside in the community, so you know who you can call. That's what it's for. It's just making it so that it's easier for you to call the right person and get your answers to whatever questions you may have. Also, this last week, they briefly brought up the grand opening that was downtown. I'm gonna tell you, it was no parking. There wasn't any parking anywhere. I had to run across the street in the rain. But it was cars everywhere, and that's the way you go out and support businesses when they have their grand opening. It was a big turnout, and I'm just saying thank you to the community for the support they provided for that business owner, because they had the crying emoji. They was like, oh, I feel like, you know, that. So I know that it was really something that meant something great to them, and especially, you know, to go out and support them. So let's continue to do that as we go forward. We talked about the small town showcase that we have won. Hey, we had a lot of great people that nominated our city. We had a lot of people vote. I mean, it was over 10,000 votes. At the city, at the chamber luncheon, I said that we need to come out and vote the same way. I want to make a small change to that. I only want you to vote once, because I know I voted for probably about 2 hours. But we don't want you to get Google Sheets and try to vote for the next city councilman. But we do want you to come out and let your voice be heard. And we do want to thank everyone for that support. Now, the big thing that's going to take place is the interview and the video that will be shot here in our city. So that is in the works now. So if you are asked to participate in anything that's dealing with the history of the city, please participate, because we are also, just jumping over to WAG, the Waynesville Action Group, we're developing a 100-year commemorative newspaper. And we are doing a lot of research on that. And just this last Monday, a small team of us went up to Rolla to pick up newspapers that go back to the 70s, like, you know, way before I was born or even thought of. Like, maybe. But anyway, we have a lot of history, and we took it to the senior center. Is in the basement of the senior center. We had Tim and Anita Brill, who actually grew up here, but they came out and helped us move those, and we just kind of put them in the building at the senior center. They went back on Wednesday and put them in chronological order. 2 of them. I was like, y'all are some rock stars, because I sure didn't want to do that. But they went back and they did it on their own. They organized it, and I just want to say that's the kind of citizens that we have here in the community, that they see a need, they come out and they provide, and they say, this is how I can help, and they help the way they can help. And I think if we just carry that same mentality throughout our community, I mean, we'll be even better than what we are right now. We have a lot of great community programs and people within the community doing great things. So with that being said, enjoy your week, and we'll see you around town. This meeting is adjourned.